Welcome back to Art Club. We have another cute day of projects for you and I can't wait to get started. So let's get our supplies together. We are going to be making these adorable little birdies. Something sort of like this, and of course you'll get to decorate yours however you want, so that'll be up to you as the artist. But you're going to want to choose first, what color would you like your bird to be? Now for this I've chosen blue, so I've got my blue paper out. I might also want to add a beak to my bird, so I found some orange scrap paper that I had, but if you don't have scrap paper, just any color of maybe orange or yellow or whatever color you'd like the beak to be. You might also decide that you want your bird to be a chicken, in which case you'll probably want some red so that you can add that comb to the top of your bird's head. That's an option. We will also want our googly eyes, or if you don't want to use googly eyes, you could use a marker or other art supplies to color on it. That's up to you. We're definitely going to need scissors though, and a pencil, and glue. Now my glue stick is actually, it's gone, so I have to get a new one. In the meantime, I'm going to be using a bottle of glue instead. So those are our supplies for this project, and we're going to start off with the color of paper that you chose for your bird to be. And we're going to fold it in half, what we call hot dog style. So kind of like how a hot dog is long and skinny, that's what we're doing with this fold. Same thing. So you can see how that's a really long and skinny fold, right? Okay, so once I folded it that way, I'm going to fold it again. This time, we call this hamburger style, where instead of making it longer and skinnier, we make it wider. So if I were to unfold it, it should divide my paper into four, but you don't actually need to unfold it. I was just showing you that. Okay, this is the most important part here. You want to make sure, just like when you're cutting a paper heart, you don't want to have it where you're cutting it on the open side. You want to cut it on the folded side. So that's going to be very important for this part to turn out. So you can choose to draw a half circle first or just cut it out, but we are going to be, that's not the best half circle, but that's okay. I'll do a better job cutting it. Cutting out a half circle, making sure it's on the folded side. So if you see 2, that's good, you're on the right side. If you see 4, flip it over to the other side. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut this out. And if your half circle ends up turning out more like an oval, that's totally okay. This is going to be for our bird's body. And I can tell you I've never actually seen a bird that was a perfect circle, so don't worry if it's more of an oval than a circle. There we go. I've got my 2 circles ready to go. So my next step is we want to cut the feathers for our wing, and we're just going to do that by cutting slits on one half of our circle, but I don't want to go past that seam in the middle. Okay, if you do a little bit on 1 or 2, it's not going to be the biggest deal in the world, but we want to, for the most part, we want to keep this side solid. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on this one too. Just cutting little slits along the way. These are going to end up being our feathers to our wing. There we go. So as you can probably tell, I am going to eventually end up gluing these together. And that's going to be the body of our bird and the wings of our bird. But right now our poor little birdie is missing a head and it's missing a tail. So we better take care of that, right? Let's do that next. So I'm going to use that same color piece of paper. If you've got enough in the scraps, go ahead and use that. Otherwise, just grab a new one out. And I am going to cut a circle. We want it smaller than the body, right? Usually a head is smaller than a body. So I'm going to cut a circle out of my paper. If you want to trace the circle, like by using a mug or something round, you can. But once again, I'm not too worried about it because birds aren't perfect circles. All right, for the tail, I'm actually going to cut a rectangular shape. It's going to be about the size of the palm of my hand. Let's see here, my paper is being finicky. So about like that. So that's the head. This is the tail. Right now you're probably thinking that doesn't look much like a tail. Oh, but wait. We still got to cut the feathers in. So just like I did to the wings, I'm going to cut some strips here. And we're going to turn those into feathers for the tail. Now we got to assemble, right? This poor bird. It's all into separate pieces here. So I'm going to put glue on the solid part of my bird's body. Once again, you guys can be using your glue stick. I, however, ran out of glue in my glue stick, so I'm going to use my glue bottle instead, getting all the way to those edges, like that. And of course, I'm going to put the bird head, goes on one end. Notice how it's kind of sticking out a little bit. And then the bird tail feathers up are going to go on the back end, the opposite end. We're going to just add a little bit of glue here where the head and tail were covering the glue that was there before, just so that when I attach the other half of the body, it can attach all the way to those edges. And I'm going to take this half, the solid half once again, and I'm going to put it over that. If at any point this is going too fast, pause, rewind, anything you need to do. So here we go. Putting this on there and lining that up as best as I can. There we go. Fantastic. I might adjust it just slightly, but that's looking pretty good. Got my cute little birdie. Here's the wings, here's the tail, and the head. Now the wings, they're pretty flat right now, and the tail, right? So if you want to add a little pizzazz, a little personality, what you can do is take one of these little feathers as we're calling them, at a time, grab a pencil, and you're going to wrap the strip of paper that we're calling a feather around the pencil. So do you see how I'm doing that? Just wrapping it around the pencil, and I'm giving it a squeeze with my fingers. When I release, look at that, it curls. Isn't that cute? So you can choose if you want to do this to your bird. You can definitely choose to do that as a little embellishment. I might even do the same thing to my tail too. Maybe I'll curl one tail feather in one direction, like that, and the other tail feather I might curl in the other direction, and keep going back and forth and back and forth, like that. Whoopsies. My tail, I pulled a little too hard while taking that apart. There's a good example of what not to do, right? Okay, so you can see how those are all curling and looking cute. For the sake of keeping the video not too long, I'm going to let you guys decide if that's something you want to do with yours, and then go ahead and choose to continue curling it if you want to, or once again, if you don't want to, you wouldn't have to do that. Okay, so I've just got my wing hiding on the other side here. And, oh, my poor little bird needs a mouth. It can't eat, it can't chirp, it doesn't have a beak yet. So I am going to take my orange scrap paper here, and I'm just going to cut out a triangle shape and glue that on for my birdie's mouth. If it ends up being too big, you can always trim it down a little bit, right? I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there. And voila! My sweet birdie has a beak now. Might want to give my birdie an eye or two so it can see, so it's not flying blind. Let's see if I can get, I've been pretty lucky lately. Let's see if I can get the back to peel. Yes, we can. Otherwise, if I can't get the back to peel, then I just glue it. Sometimes that's easier. There we go. Got a sweet little birdie eye. I might also choose to decorate my birdie a little bit, right? Maybe I want my bird to be a chicken. So I could cut out a cone from some red paper, glue that on top. I actually don't want it to be a chicken though, so I'm going to put that over there. Maybe I want my birdie to have some cute little spots on it. Could add something like that. Or any other kind of decorations you might want for your bird. I've had some students add, they kind of like clipped a clothes hanger to the bottom of it so it could stand up on the clothes hanger. That was pretty cute. I've had students add actual feathers to theirs, which is always adorable. Maybe some glitter, totally up to you. So at this point in the project, you get to just decorate your bird and make it look however you want. And then of course, don't forget, once you're done, come on in to our slide down at the bottom where it says the Hall of Fame, and go ahead and click on that. It'll take you into our Hall of Fame where we share our artwork with each other, and you'll scroll on down and claim your frame by typing in your name right down here. And then to get your picture in there, go to Insert Image and choose Camera and take a picture of your art project. I can't wait to see how these turn out. We'll see you next time.